Maximus Analysis here for February 25th, 2016, and we see that they continued up. Again, it looked kind of iffy in the morning because it didn't really gap up or give us like a gap up to go into, but they held that 1914 number that we talked about yesterday, and they continued up. Now they're at 1950. We're going to look at overhead resistance potentially at 1958 or 1985, and then of course they will come and test the previous lows of 2000. So we're going to look and see how that goes. Again, tomorrow morning we have a ton of reports at 8:30, so that's either going to make things explode to the upside or kind of stall things out. We don't want them to get, again, below the 1920 region. But the reports we have are at 8:30. We have GDP, which is a big one, international trade and goods, and we have personal income and outlays, and then we have consumer sentiment at 10 o'clock. So always make sure you're looking at your reports, especially in this type of environment, because again, a lot of people probably again, I had a friend of mine that was calling me like he was nervous to hold his SPY calls from yesterday. He caught it a great short. I mean, excuse me, great long off these bottoms, because it's just that type of environment. Again, the aggressive trading has paid off if you're looking at a smaller time frame because of how volatile things have been. So again, the upward target could be around this 85 if they blast through 58, and again, we'll see what's going on. Again, also to keep things in note is very simple, is that we're in the middle of the range. So we're going to know exactly what happens at that point, and we'll trade accordingly. Again, they have a really great increase on volume, which is typically what we want if we're going to see some type of move up. This is the first move up. So again, some people might look at this 3-day rule. Again, if you're already long, fine. If you're not, you're going to have to use some type of intraday support or resistance to basically dive into this daily action to make sure you're not putting your stop all the way down below 1884, 85 area. Let's look at the NQ. And the NQ, again, same type of deal. We said it was about the tightest looking out of the indexes in regards to the sideways movement. I would have liked a little bit more oomph, quite honestly, but again, it doesn't matter. The price went up. So again, we'll want to see again what happens at this 43.50 area if it gets up that high, because again, there could be, I don't think there's a short squeeze here. I think if there's people that were short here already covered, but the short squeeze probably would have been today. So I didn't see the typical pop. I saw it on the ES, not the NQ. But you listen, it's going up, so you take it accordingly. You have the YM, again, gave a little bit, a lot more, again, similar pattern to the ES. This came on the backs of Nike and United Technologies, gave the majority of that, and also Goldman Sachs. So make sure you're looking at your 30 elements of the index to make sure that you're seeing things right. Crude is being just that. Again, it went all the way down and almost went to the low, breaking this previous low, and ran right back up, just to show you how violent crude can be. That is your 15-minute chart. So again, some people love it, I love it, but some people hate it, and you could see why. Intraday, it's very, very volatile, to say the least. You have to make sure if you're trading it on a daily, you're sticking with that daily time frame. But we know, and we've discussed, that we're pretty much in the middle of things, which is not where we typically like to trade, more at the extremes versus anything. We have the bonds. This, I think, is the 30-year, the ZB, so they're still holding their bull pivot right now. You have the ZF, which is the the 5-year is still holding its bull pivot, and you have the ZN, which is the 10-year. Yep, 10-year note, and that is holding its bull pivot right here. So let's look at some equity names quickly. We can see that, excuse me, Apple is just a real sloppy type of chart. So again, just if you're looking to play off of the bounce low, I would suggest, as weird as it sounds, looking at a weekly chart to kind of give you a little bit more perspective. And you could see on the weekly chart how weak this bounce has been. You see the declining volume, just giving you a flag for potentially more downside potential for at least this name. You have Amazon, which again is holding its 200-day moving average, but with a day so with such a big day on the NQ and the indexes, you would think a name like this with such high volume and high price would have moved a lot more, but it didn't. So we'll continue to look at that. Tesla's up $9, so this one looks good. We spoke yesterday in the video about some potential overhead resistance that we're going to be bucking our heads up against. So just look at yesterday's video to see if you, again, you'll see what I'm talking about. You have Google up $8, but just still very sideways type of position. Again, even if these things go up, this is just not the type of trade I typically take. I like to take things at the extremes per se, and it's similar to Facebook here, where again this pattern is working, but it's just so violent, like it's just so churning. So then that's when you look and say, okay, if I'm getting a lot of this, which is kind of a hyperactive type of action, let me go to a weekly time frame, and you could say, okay, we have declining volume going into these previous highs, and we have a sell signal that they've not even gotten to basically the 109 area. So let's look at this and make sure they do not break a low, because this can continue to the downside. Just looking at price and volume and looking at multiple time frames to kind of make sure that you're seeing the big picture. Because again, if you're in, congratulations for the long, but if you're trying to get long now, make sure that you have your stop either below this low, or again, use a smaller time frame to get in. You have LinkedIn. LinkedIn is up $1.30, still has not encompassed. So this was even just the simple bar counting, and this is something you've probably seen in my videos, that we're down one, even if you just use it from here, 1, 2, 3, 4 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's not showing strength. That is taking almost double the amount of time, and I doubt it's even gotten probably a little bit above the 50% midpoint of this range right here. Priceline really didn't participate that much in today, holding a 200-day moving average as well. So last one is Netflix, and Netflix, again, we just want to see some continuation to the upside, and you can see that there's some previous pivots that I've marked out on the chart to say, okay, this could be upward resistance. If you're long now, you just want some follow through for tomorrow to continue maybe till Monday. And tomorrow we'll see what happens pre-market. So 8:30 is your time frame, and we'll go from there. Take care.